जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈ ಬೆಳಗೂರು ತಿರುಚಿರಾಪಳ್ಳಿ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Tilak Verma called the MI team home for dinner the other night, and they've continued the party at the stadium because Tilak Verma with Cameron Green came to the party, and of course there was Rohit and Ishan Kishan who chipped in. Welcome back to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami Kher. I have Lisa all the way from Australia awake for us, and Shaun Pollock. Welcome. Good. Well, Lisa, firstly, I guess the home turf suits you. Congratulations. Lisa has won the prediction game.
I know I put the right colour on, at least from a prediction point of view. I don't know if they'll get across the line, but I felt like Mumbai's batting was starting to click, albeit I was a little bit surprised about Cam Green being elevated because I thought actually him coming down the order suited their batting lineup a little bit more. Some people may look at his score and go, yep, he's done the job, but he did eat up a lot of balls at the start and moved around way too much. And then finally it clicked when he probably stayed still and was able to execute his skills.
Polly, we spoke about this as well. 64 of 40 balls. A strike rate of 160 looks good on paper, but those initial balls, they don't come back. You spoke about that.
Yeah, I think he was almost 23 of 22. And I'm not saying that he's not the guy who can do a job, but just when you look at the other personnel, Surya Kumar, Tilak Verma, what they're capable of doing, and it was going to be spin. I was wondering if there was communication because when Washington Sundar bowled his first over, Rohit got hold of him, it was 3-4s. But the last delivery of the over stood up steeply. And that's the kind of warning signs you've got to look for. So if that communication had gone back, you're saying, well, will Cameron Green be able to deal with that kind of bounce and extra maybe turn? And he probably wasn't the right one. But it's worked out okay, as you say, and he's recovered well. He struck it beautifully at the back end. It was those two overs, Makand and Marco Jansen, that kind of just shifted everything in the favour of Mumbai. And then they didn't lose a wicket again until the close or till the end of the innings. So when that is the case, they're going to score big. And probably a little bit more than what Sunrisers would have wanted them to get. But it might be similar to that wicket we saw the other day at Mumbai, where initially it stood steep, and then once you roll it, and with the dew, it might play just a touch better. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. But I definitely wouldn't go for Riley Meredith to bring him in. I think that was the easiest to strike. I'd go for the extra spin option.
We'll have a look at the Mumbai batting card and see who else has done what, because yes, those 64 runs were crucial. There was Rohit Sharma, 28 of 18. We thought he probably will have a big knock, but it wasn't to be. Ishan Kishan and those two flying catches by Makram. Ishan Kishan was looking good as well. Surya Kumar Yadav hit that one big six, and again there was that brilliant catch by Makram. So would you say Tilak Verma was the standout after a Green 64, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. When he comes in, he seems to know his game really well, and 4 sixes, he struck it sweetly. Like as soon as you get that ping off the bat, you just want to stay quiet and just listen to that regularly. He just is able to access so many different areas. So yeah, he's the type of guy I think you want him to face more deliveries because I think he's going to potentially give you a lot more runs.
Polly, he is very impressive. He's somebody who's impressed all through this season. When you play at home, when you play in front of, your friends are probably at the stadium, your parents might be coming in as well. You want to go that extra little bit. Does that happen to a player? And is that what Tilak Verma did today?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's only what he's done today. He keeps doing it. Any innings he walks to the crease. But he, as a local boy, when you play on your home ground, there's just good vibes around. You feel comfortable. You kind of know what the surface is going to do. You know if you can back yourself to play certain shots and whether you can or can't carry the boundary. And he looked very comfortable in his innings. So he's got to be happy with that. I think he did the exactly perfect foil that Mumbai needed. And they've benefited from his innings, and that means why they've posted this score. So he would have enjoyed that. I don't know, his house must have been a big house if he got everyone around for dinner last night.
He had a lot of people in the house. That whole
Mumbai squad with the support staff and everyone, it would have been hectic.
Yeah. But Lisa, the partnership between Tilak Varma and Green was extremely crucial because, Tilak Varma let Green settle in, play those, take it slowly while he was the aggressor. So let's say that Tilak Varma, the 37 of 17, and Cameron Green was 18 of 11.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of give, out of the Mumbai batters who performed the best, probably Tilak Verma and maybe Ishan Kishan. Cam Green came to the party a little bit late, like most Aussies do. They come a little bit late to parties because they think it's cool to rock up late. But he certainly was the one that showed the aggression and put pressure back onto the bowlers. And then obviously, as we always talk about, and sometimes we talk about it too much, but the right-left combination of that partnership is really crucial because players sometimes cash in on the loose delivery if a bowler just misses their line and length.
But Polly, to talk about Hyderabad's bowling, because Jansen and Natarajan, both of them really just couldn't get their foothold today. They went all over the place. There was Bhuvi who looked impressive. We'll have a look at the bowling card. But Bhuvi, if I remember correctly, was pretty economical. In his 4 overs, he gave 31 to that 1 wicket. So clearly he was the pick of the bowlers today.
Yeah, he was. Marco Jansen struggled in that 1 over. That's why he ends up going for 43, but picked up the 2 vital wickets. Washington Sundar, what did he go for 12 in his first 4 deliveries and then pulled it back really nicely. Natarajan is the one who, for me, is struggling. He's obviously short of bowling. He hasn't played as much as he could. But I just also think the game plan of what they did to him at the back end, and it's Cam Green and Tim David, they've got this ability to stand on off stump, but not allow their boots to get in the way. And that really makes it difficult for a fast bowler at the end to try and get that Yorker in, because Tim David in particular, I've seen him balls like low, full tosses that he still has this ability to present a nice, strong, straight bat down the line. And I think over the years, Natarajan's built up that reputation. So we have a kind of expectation of what he should be doing, and he should be maybe able to get the odd delivery in there and sliding it under the bats. But he didn't look like he was likely. In fact, in many ways, he was lucky to get away with the damage that he suffered at the back end. So yeah, he's not at his best, and you hope for his sake that as the tournament goes on, I think it's the second time he's been for 50. So he is struggling a little bit there.
Lisa, you think, the pitch was kind of holding up on the batsman? We saw that with the Surya dismissal as well. Maybe get like Markram himself to come and bowl. Do you think that should have been an option for them?
Yeah, I think it could have been, but sometimes when you've got the captain who also bowls, he's more about thinking how can he get the best out of his teammates, and if they've been struggling, or he's trying to find them the overs and find the right matchups. But I certainly think, given that we saw the ball stop and turn a little bit, and it only has to stop and turn slightly for it to check the batter's shots. I think spin could have certainly been an option for them to continue to go down that path. But sometimes, if you're the skipper, you need either another senior player, so someone like a Bhuvi, to go up and say, mate, you need to take the ball, or the comments need to come from the coaching staff to run out and give that message.
Yeah, well, if he had taken the ball, Polly, who would have taken those brilliant catches, because he was just all over the field. You said he's a really nice guy. Just something more about Markram, if you can tell us.
Yeah, he's got wonderful hands from a fielding perspective, whether it's test cricket in the slip cordon or wherever he fields on the boundary or the inner circle. And he's a lovely chap. He captained our South African under-19s to a World Cup victory. I think the tournament took place in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, I think, at that time. But yeah, wonderful chap. When you chat to him, he really is one of those likeable characters who loves to be a part of the action and is very unassuming.
Well, we'll have a look at Mumbai's 11 again, because they will be wondering what to do with the ball. We've spoken about how they were not, on paper, they don't look the strongest when it comes to the bowling department. Would you all get in the spinner instead of Meredith?
Yeah, I think, that's the option. They don't have to go with anything as yet. What do you think, Lise?
Yeah, I think maybe even Kumar Karthikeya. How do you pronounce her last name?
Kumar Karthikeya.
Thank you.
Karthikeya.
Yeah, because he came in as an impact player in one of the games and got 1 for 24. And I just think as a left arm spinner that they're always effective as well. So he potentially could come in, and I guess they'll first see what happens
and whether the ball and the pitch, should I say, changes, like you mentioned, Polly, if it's rolled and dew starts to come in. If dew starts to come in, then probably not. But if it stays dry and the ball seems to be stopping and turning a little bit, I think they should go spin, absolutely.
Polly, we didn't see the towels out so far. So considering that the dew has not set in yet, Piyush Chawla will be very excited wanting to getting onto the field?
Yeah, he's experienced enough to be able to deal with that anyway. If there is a little bit of dew, I mean, he's so confident at the moment. I mean, look at those facts and figures compared to what we've seen to him in the 2 years gone by. His strike rates there, his corner rate, unbelievable. He's picked up 5 wickets, his average really good. And I think he's just enjoying the environment. Rohit Sharma at the helm, I think he'll be pretty calm about what he asks him to do. And I think he was considering at one stage playing some of that old man's cricket, the retired cricketers' games, and he got the call up, so he's back in the mix and he's just lapping it up.
Yeah, actually, he made a statement saying that he's not there to prove a point. He wants to do this for his own satisfaction, and he's just here to make himself feel happy. So he's playing in this atmosphere where he's happy. I guess that's what matters the most. But Lisa, you think that matchup, like Polly said, is the word of the season, flavor of the season. But would you play a Piyush Chawla bowl a Piyush Chawla in the power play to a Harry Brook?
Potentially, depending on what you see initially with the new ball. If it swings around and moves around, then no, because I think you've still got plenty of overs for him to spin his magic. And then obviously having the extra fielders out gives him that protection. But it goes back to what the comment you made about Piyush Chawla and even Polly at the start of the show as well is, when you're a seasoned campaigner and you've got that experience under your belt, you're right, you don't need to prove everything. You know who you are as a cricketer. And when you do that, you know how to train as well. You know how to be able to prepare for some big games, for big matches, for IPL. You're not daunted because you've been there, done it before. You've probably failed more than you succeeded, but you still find a way to come back. And so there's a level of confidence with that. And it only takes a period of time to be able to get it. Whilst we talk about the young guns coming in and they're fearless, also that happens as well when you're a seasoned campaigner.
I totally agree. We'll have a look at Hyderabad's 11 right now, because I was asking about Piyush Chawla to Harry Brook because they said that he probably has that chink in the armor would be against spin. But there is Mayank Agarwal there who I think would want to prove a point to everyone because there's a lot spoken about him and him not performing this season. Who do you think is going to stand out in that batting lineup, Polly?
Well, they've all been in decent touch, haven't they? I mean, Harry comes off the 100, Chapati's having a good season, Markham's gone well, Klaasen hasn't really had to do much, but even in that one knock he played, he kind of middled a few. They can bring the extra batting option in. I just think from a Mayank's perspective, eventually you want to be contributing. I mean, he'll be desperate to get a score under the belt because he knows he hasn't quite played his part and he wants to get them off to a fast start. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. Home ground for them. There have been a lot of net sessions that have happened there, and they've probably, when you're coaching staff, you've got more chance of getting a batter going in your own home conditions because you can ask for certain net practices, you can ask for certain net bowlers to come in and around. So you would think they've done everything over the last few days to try and get him really firing. And then if he can kick on and Brook just continues where he left off, that'll be the ideal start.
Lisa, you think, SRH is going to go all guns blazing, or they will take things slowly and see what the pitch is doing? What's the approach going to be?
Does anyone take things slowly nowadays? I think if they lose wickets, they have to. But especially the type of players like Harry Brook, he'll play his certain style of game, which is to go hard. Mayank will probably hope that he gets off to a flyer, which will then allow him maybe a little bit of extra time just to get up the other end and assess the conditions and then start to feel a little bit more comfortable that his feet are moving and that he's picking up the ball with his eyes. But I think Harry Brooks will go hard. And that's the way to go. When you're chasing a 190 plus score, you can't afford to waste those first 6 overs.
I also think who do Mumbai start with? I mean, it's not like it's guaranteed. I'm sure Arjun will probably get the first over, but it's not like it's a tried and tested combination. And also at the back end, who's their death bowlers? We don't really know. We know who's going to dominate the middle overs.
Yes.
The 2 spinners will come in.
Well, Arjun has come in to bowl and they've got Meredith in. They've not got the spinner in. So I guess they are backing the seamers to do the needful.
Maybe they'll prove us wrong.
Maybe. Let's hope and keep our fingers crossed. We see Tilak Varma is out and Riley Meredith comes in. So, well, they didn't
On his
quite...
home ground, he's not going to get to field. He can't go and lap up the crowd. That's unfortunate.
Well, we have to get to our prediction game because now that Lisa has won and she's liking this winning streak that she's had because the last time we were together, she won as well. So, I think, Polly, you go first.
49 for me.
Lisa?
53.
Okay, I'm going to be a little more aggressive. I think it's going to be 49, 53 and 57 for me. I'm really hoping that Arjun Tendulkar does well and gets his first wicket. So we'll go out and see if that happens because that's all the time we have right now. Don't forget to join us at the Cricbuzz Combox at the 10 over point.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎಳುವುದು ತಿರುಚಿರಾಪಳ್ಳಿ
Hyderabad Superfast Express Boloboti Station Netaji Bhavan. कृपया ध्यान दें